Hello, welcome back. Today's video is on the very highly requested how to focus. I'm going to give you 3 tips of mine that help me to focus, and if you're new here, these are my credentials. Tip 1 is artificial lighting. If you're like me, I really struggle in winter when it's really dark when I wake up, and then it's also really dark by like 4 p.m. So something that I found that really helped me to keep focus when I was feeling tired and slow was artificial lighting. Let me explain. Let's say you're getting up early in the morning and it's pitch black outside. You can either study with the blinds open and you can look outside and see how dark it is, and most likely only the owls are up, or what I would do is I would close my blinds and I would turn on my artificial light. This light could be something that's really warm, it could be really bright, whatever you prefer to study in. The reason I did this was, number 1, I would actually forget the time and I would normally revise a lot longer than I'd meant to, but number 2, I wouldn't feel as tired. My brain wasn't tied to the sun being up. I almost had my own sun in my room. So that's one way in which I focused when I was feeling sleepy. The next tip is how to focus when you have a lot on your mind. Now, believe me, I'm also someone who has a lot on my mind. I think very deeply, and I think about a lot of things all at once. One of the ways that help me to concentrate when I have very, say, personal situations that are really affecting me is I'd have a piece of paper next to me when I would study, and whenever something came up in my brain that wasn't to do with studying, I'd write it on the piece of paper, because at the end of the session I would have this whole page with all of my thoughts, and if I needed to act on anything by the end of my study session, I could, because it was there. I think a very big thing with a lot of students is when they've got loads of things on their mind, they feel like they have to act immediately because they'll forget. But by having that piece of paper there, it means you're not going on your phone. And on the theme of having situations in your personal life that you can't control, I want to give you a bit of an anecdote that may help you. And that is, I pretty much got the best grades of my life when I was at my mentally lowest. When I was going through a personal situation that really drained me, I had 2 options. One of the options was to basically sit and cry and dwell in those emotions, and the other option was to basically use studying as a sense of escape. And don't get me wrong, I had my time to dwell and sit with my thoughts, but I used studying as a way to not have to think about it, and I put so much of my time and energy into improving me and my mind that I ended up with getting probably the best results I ever had, and that was because I put that energy into something else. So if you are going through something right now, use that as your advantage. Now the last tip, again, this is pretty niche. A lot of people can't focus because they're on their phone. Now, before I even started social media, I used to do this, and that is I would record myself studying on a time lapse, because you can't just stop a time lapse, the video will stop. So in my head, I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do 40 minutes of studying, I'm gonna record that 40 minutes. I can't touch my phone until that 40 minutes is up. I'd put my phone on do not disturb, and I would set my time lapse and I'd work. And the reason being is when you look at yourself in the camera, it feels like someone's watching you, and that's one of the reasons why on my study platform I have the at-home library, so that the girls are all studying together, because when you've got someone watching you, you feel accountable and you're less likely to pick up your phone or to scroll. For example, if you're studying in the room with a random student and they're studying and you're watching them and they're, say, doing a practice paper, you're not going to sit there with your book open and just go on your phone, because you want to be like them, you want to mirror them. Hence, that is why I introduced the at-home library. But back onto the video, that is why you can also film yourself. It's having someone there, even though it's you, to be like, no, you've got to get this done. You promised yourself you would. Once that is done, give yourself a rest. Maybe that's you're going on a walk, or you're going to go and get a snack, or do something that fulfills you. Please don't scroll on your breaks, because scrolling is so counterproductive. Maybe do that at the end of the day when you're shattered, but scrolling in between your breaks, I promise you, is a lot less efficient than you think. As always, I know these videos are extremely short. I have a habit of both writing and speaking in a pretty concise manner. So please let me know what you'd like to see next, and I'm going to try and make this a weekly thing, but most likely every 2 weeks, because I always forget to end up filming these. But either way, I'm happy you're here. If you are interested in my study platform, I now have an Instagram page for it, which is, it's crazy to say. I'll put that up here and all the info, but either way, I will see you guys very soon.